came out at the International Convention, and I think it does a great job. I know there was a lot of work put into this, and it explains a lot about the InCelligence technology from a very simple level. So, if you really geek out on the science and you love the science and you want to know what compounds are in here and what's, parts of the cell they target, you can read all about that. But the thing I love about this brochure is it's also got takeaways in it, where basically it summarizes it into just a few bullet points as to, what are the major advantages of InCelligence over other products that are on the market. So that's what I really focus in on. And, if I could put InCelligence into, its simplest form, it's really a new way of addressing personalized nutrition. The holy grail of nutrition for years has been to really come up with personalized nutrition that functions differently in you than it would in me, because we're genetically very different. We have different needs. And so using cell signaling compounds, natural cell signaling compounds, we're able to accomplish that personalization, because it's really cool how these compounds will work differently in me than they work in you. So if I give you the same compounds, it will actually have a different effect in you than it does in me.
And that's because of my genetic makeup, right? Or my genetic makeup plus lifestyle, or why are we all so different in how we respond to, how our body responds to stress and immune function and all of that? Why are we so different? Is that solely based on our genetic makeup?
You know what? That's actually a really good point. It's probably about 30% based on your genetics and about 70% based on your lifestyle.
Okay.
So, that's kind of an interesting breakdown. I just saw that factoid a few years ago. But basically, it has to do with not only your genetics, what your DNA is, but also how your body expresses those genes. And the way your body expresses those genes has a lot to do with your lifestyle. So if you exercise a lot, you eat certain foods, you'll actually, even if you had the same genetics, you would be different. So the way these compounds work differently in me and you has to do with both our lifestyle and our genetics. So
that's easy to understand. That breaks it down a little bit for people to understand why these compounds or these combinations of nutrients work differently for us. So much of how our body responds to stress or, anything that we do, exercise, is from our lifestyle. So I know our associates are always talking about that. So yeah, that's helpful.
And you know what, Jessica, that's actually a really good point, because that's another thing that's a really important thing that people need to know, is that nutrition and lifestyle are not, if you just do good nutrition and you don't have a healthy lifestyle, you're not going to achieve anywhere near the good benefits that you should. So it's really a combination of both. So InCelligence is really an upgrade on USANA's core technology that's been around forever, which is the Essentials technology. And really, back when Dr. Wentz was founding the company many years ago, he felt very strongly about what's called cellular nutrition. So basically nourishing the body at the cellular level.
Right.
And he was like that because he came from a field of microbiology where he grew a lot of cells. And so that's great technology, but InCelligence is really the next step forward. And it uses cell signaling, which makes it a little more personalized. The cool thing is that this is our first product. It's a home run. The associates are loving it. I've traveled around the world now in support of InCelligence, and a lot of the other scientists have as well. And not only, does this product perform like we expected it to, but the associates are loving it. They're telling us that, they're having better energy, sleeping better.
So many additional benefits I've been hearing. Their hair's growing faster, their
Yes.
nails are stronger, their skin looks better.
Yeah.
At Sweet Retreat, we had so many ladies coming up and just talking to us about Cell Essentials and all the great additional benefits that they've had while being on the two products. So
yeah,
that's awesome.
No, it's really cool. And you know what? That I've heard that for years. And when people are on good nutrition, one of the first things you'll notice is that your nails grow faster. Okay, because that's a really noticeable thing. But if you're having to trim your nails like 2 or 3 times a week, you've got a pretty healthy condition, and I see you've got really long nails, not long healthy nails, so that's good. But that's one of the things that people notice, and we're just hearing great reports back. So it's nice to know, because when you're developing a product, all the research is very interesting and such, but to hear it translating in people's lives, that's the real home run.
The actual benefits,
yeah.
So would you say that Cell Essentials, we get a lot of questions, and I think this comes down to actually understanding what InCelligence is, but we get questions as to why not every single one of our products has this InCelligence technology in it. So would you say CellSentials is the foundation, that's where you begin, and that's what's most important, is to make sure you're on the CellSentials products before starting to optimize your regimen? Would you say that's a good foundation to start with?
Yeah, that's a great way of putting it. So that's true, because this whole cell signaling InCelligence technology is very new, it's state of the art. So eventually we see that there will be dozens of products that will have this InCelligence technology. But for right now, the CellSentials is our flagship product. That's the first one that we're putting out to marketplace. And like I said, people are getting great results with the CellSentials.
Right.
So I would recommend that everybody be on CellSentials. And then we have a whole host of other optimizer products depending on people's specific personal needs. But you hit it right on, as CellSentials is the foundation. It's the core. Everybody should be on CellSentials.
Yeah, if you look at, I was looking at CellSentials, and then I was looking at some of the other products that have this technology in them. And for me, one that kind of struck home was the proglucamine. And it took me a while to learn how to say it, and say it without kind of stumbling over myself. But it's an incredible product, because I know that my immune system gets compromised when I'm very stressed, when I don't get enough sleep, when I'm working too much, or when I'm not taking time to really care for myself. So having something like proglucamine that can go and have a combination of ingredients that helps my immune function, especially during times of stress and my body's response, just really spoke to me as a product that definitely needs to be in my optimizers category. So yeah, just kind of looking at each one of those products and what your individual needs are, and looking at a personalized approach to how you can feel healthiest and what makes sense to your lifestyle.
Yeah, and I would agree with you on the proglucamine. I mean, that one is just a real surprise for me, because I wish I had developed it. I didn't, but anyway, yeah, there will be more in the future. But anyway, but proglucamine, for its funny name, it does have a funny name, but the technology behind it and the way that product works, I mean, that's my go-to product. That's actually one of the products that I can feel if I don't take it day to day. And for the same reasons as you, we run a very hectic schedule. We're running $1 billion company that operates in 20 countries, and we're constantly in different time zones and operating. And if we didn't have that, I don't think we could operate at the level that we do. So it's really a great product. So that would be, I think that's a good secondary for people to add, once they're on the CellSentials, start adding the proglucamine, because it's appropriate for everybody.
Yeah, it's appropriate for everyone. For me, it just spoke to me just because I struggle with, getting enough sleep and time for myself. But I mean, all of us have hectic lives, kids, schedules, other jobs, so it's a great product for everyone. But if you look at CellSentials as your core foundation, and then you understand the personalization aspect behind CellSentials and behind this InCelligence technology, then it's really easy to start customizing your approach to nutrition and looking at the other optimizers we have.
Yeah, it's good.
So,
what else?
What else? Are we getting any questions that...
You answered the question. We had one question about would this technology be in other supplements other than the...
Yeah, let me add to that a little bit, because I mean, I can't tell you, as a public company, I can't reveal to you the products that we've got under development in the future, but I can safely tell you that right now we've got over a dozen products that we're actively developing that have the InCelligence technology in them. And this whole cell signaling thing it's virtually unlimited. I mean, literally, there are hundreds and thousands of cell signaling pathways in your body. People are just starting to map them out. And if we find natural compounds that can affect beneficial things, it's almost unlimited what we can do with the human body. And so I love it, because USANA's the first company that I've ever seen commercialize this technology. Scientists have known about it for years. It's been in laboratories for probably a couple decades. But it's been something that, is in the petri dish, not in the human being. And so USANA is really a leader in converting that from the laboratory into something useful that people can take.
So I'm definitely not as smart as you. So I'm gonna describe how I kind of see InCelligence working, and then you let me know if I'm on or off track as to how I kind of see it working. So InCelligence, what we've done is we know all these pathways in your body where cells communicate and they trigger responses, certain responses to whatever happens in your life. But then we isolate combinations of ingredients that then go and target those pathways to trigger an appropriate response or an optimized response.
Correct.
Is that correct?
That's exactly it.
Okay, so look, you don't have to be a scientist to be able to say what it means, but that's really, I think if you break it down to that level and understanding that your cells are talking all day long, right? Like just these pathways, they're so complicated in nature, but when we break it down to something that easy to understand, that there are combinations of ingredients that work to target the pathways that trigger these responses, your body's natural response, it just enhances you to live a more vibrant, a more healthy, essentially a happier life.
Well, sure.
So yeah, hopefully that helped break it down a little bit for people to understand.
We did get one more question. Michael Hollander would like to know if we are working on any clinical trials.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, we have a very large clinical trial underway right now that's studying the InCelligence technology, and it's by far the most complicated clinical study I've ever been involved in before. You know, it's a over $1 million study where we're looking at various aspects of predicted outcomes for InCelligence. So it's very complicated, but it's just something that, you know, as this data comes out over the next few years, it'll just be another boost for InCelligence as we go forward.
And we'll continue working on this technology, incorporating it into new products, continuing education with you guys and making sure that everyone's comfortable talking about it and able to kind of break it down and understand it. It's still a new technology. Obviously, you guys can see that I'm still learning about it, so it's okay if everyone's still learning, and we have new people joining the USANA family every day. So you can go to the microsite to learn more. We do have an InCelligence microsite that you can link to. Also, this wonderful piece that Dr. Sinnott was talking about, but there's lots of great information in here, really breaks it down to a level that I think is very digestible. And so if you need any help, we have lots of resources on InCelligence, and we'll continue to work on education and training with you guys on this technology.
You know, one last thing I'd like to say is, you know, just the associates, I know, you know, they're going to be investing quite a bit of time, you know, into learning about InCelligence, how to explain it, how to simplify it for their customers. The one thing I want to assure them is that, you know, we are actively, and the company is committed to InCelligence technology for the next decade. So this is not something that, you know, we're going to trade horses a year down the road and go in a different direction. This is something that we're going to keep building on this story. So the sooner you learn the foundations of this, you know, the Nourish, Protect, Renew is like, that's going to be the key going forward. I love this, you know, because it makes it so simple, because Nourish and Protect are sort of, USANA's had these for a long time, but this Renew is all about InCelligence technology and getting cells to actually renew themselves. So anyway, this is something that we really believe in, and we're going to be sticking with, and I'm excited about it.
I'm excited too.
Yeah.
I remember when we were having the initial conversations about InCelligence and what it meant, it just kind of, in the beginning, went right over my head. But as I started to learn more about it and understand that this was the approach our company was going, and it was taking personalization to the next level, it's so exciting. Even if you don't understand all the ins and outs of it, just to understand the basics and where it's taking us, I think that's great advice to learn the basics. And yeah, just start sharing the message of InCelligence and personalized nutrition and what USANA is all about. So thank you so much
You're
for
welcome.
joining
My
us this
pleasure.
morning.
Yeah.
We are so happy to have you, and just such a great asset to our research and development team.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And thanks everyone for watching. Let us know if you have any questions.